Brilliant. Okay. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm Sarah McCracken, and I'm going to just cover a brief presentation on why you need PR for your business right now with an exclamation mark. I'm going to cover why PR fails, how to do PR well, and what you need to do right now to succeed. And I really appreciate your time today. And I want each and everybody on the call just to come away thinking about how PR can help you achieve your goals. And, one of my goals for today is to demystify what PR actually is. And I'm going to share with you how you can use PR to transform your business. Now, PR is really easy when you know how to do it. It's not rocket science, PR, not ER, as they say. And it is easy for anyone to get started once you understand the basics. So I'll give you some of my best tips, and I would just absolutely love it if everybody here came away with something they can implement right now to enhance their business using PR. It will work a whole lot better if you ask me questions later on. Nothing is off limits, and it's really just my best way, to share my 25 years of PR experience with you. Spoiler alert now, I don't want you sat there thinking it's going to be like this massive hard sell at the end. There really isn't. I just really genuinely would prefer that you learned more about PR via this presentation, and then I'll tell you about some trainings I have available, and then you can decide if that's right for you. And if it's not, that's fine. We'll keep in touch. I'll still answer your questions, and we'll just take it from there. I do have a range of free resources available. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. I think we probably already are connected on LinkedIn, but certainly that's a really brilliant platform for connecting up with some really awesome and interesting people. And then I have some free downloads as well, which I hope are useful. And if there's something you thought that would be useful to you in the future, let me know and I can create something around that. So who am I? I do ask myself this on a daily basis, but I'm Sarah McCracken. I'm on a mission to make PR easy for everyone. And I've been working in communications for like 20 plus 25 years now for many different types of organizations in different areas. I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Public Relations and hold chartered status. And again, that's about my personal development and just making sure that, I'm keeping on top of changing trends in PR, as well as sort of that ethical, strategic and leadership aspect to it as well. I went and did an MBA, again, to try and understand business better and how PR and business can really come together. I've worked in a political party. I've worked for a range of community and voluntary sector organisations, small businesses, and I've done kind of all that run-of-the-mill PR stuff. Front page stories, running features, awards, running events, prepping CEOs to appear in front of really difficult media interviews, as well as political committees as well. And the approach I've taken through all my roles is having a really strategic and planned approach to PR. So it's a real transferable skill that can cut across many different types of businesses. So, anything to do with PR, I've probably done it. And again, this is my way of sharing, my knowledge and skills with you to help, make PR easy for you to achieve success. Sounds very, very grand, but this is me in my native state. Chicken obsessed, love my pond. We're a pony mad household. Dedicated. Sarah's Country Life on Instagram is a dedicated channel for this. So that. Oh, sorry, I've lost my thing. Sorry, I lost my screen there. So again, PR, alpha, bit of Patsy and Dina, it's really where I'm sitting. It can be glam on occasion, but more or less you're rolling your sleeves up. You're trying to do your best for your clients, for the business that you're working for, and get their stories out there. But this is more like real life right here. Before we go on, if you wouldn't mind just dropping in the chat a little bit more about you. And again, just what business are you in? Is there anything in particular that you'd like to know about PR? And I will happily try and cover that for you. Just got one more joining, which is brilliant. So, yep. Pop in the chat. And I think as well, if you can connect up with each other as well, if you see somebody, oh, that looks really, really interesting, drop that in and connect up with each other. So yeah, drop in the chat. For those who've just joined us, this is being recorded, so you might wish to keep your camera off because it'll be on YouTube at some point. But yeah, drop in the chat as we go along. What do you do? What in particular do you want to know about PR? And then I can help tailor what we're going to talk about today to that. Oh, a workplace life coach. I love that. Understand how PR can help get new leads and opportunities. That's a really, really great outline there, Pilar. Thank you for that. Now, before we just get any further, just really to establish what actually is PR. You know, everybody thinks, oh, that's just getting yourself in the media, but it is so much more than that. But you know, a quick look at marketing and advertising first. So marketing are the activities a business undertakes to promote the buying or selling of a product or service. It's really focused on driving sales. And obviously it's a good close cousin to advertising, which is paying to tell your customers about your product or service. It's quite a mass market approach. And I see a lot of people at the minute really focused on particularly social media marketing. You'll all have seen it, you know, oh, just you need an Instagram account and do these stories, and then all of a sudden you'll have all these followers. So it's quite mass market. But I'm taking a really different approach to that. PR is about cultivating relationships organically. And it's really, to get to the heart of it, PR is about your reputation. It's the result of what you do, what you say, and what others say about you. And it's about organically building your profile. Now, the objectives, goals, and some tactics used by PR marketing teams, I mean, social media, by way of example, are really closely related. So the two approaches need to complement each other. And, you know, PR is a really essential part of your business approach because it can help build, you know, trust, credibility, and a positive image for your brand, ultimately influencing consumer perceptions and purchasing decisions. So, I mean, it's not as measurable in some cases as marketing. You do your pay per clicks and you have all this data, but it's kind of taken that holistic approach. And, you know, I've termed those credibility markers. So, you know, imagine a potential customer is searching for your business or product online, and they come across some, you know, really good media articles featuring you or your product, or, you know, details of you speaking at an event. You know, that's going to create a more credible perception of you in the mind of your customer. And think of all those public facing opportunities that PR can create, and how all those, you know, credibility markers will all add up in favor of your business. You know, it's about getting your customers talking about you when you're not in the room. And I mean, Oprah's summing it up for us here. You know, in the end, all you have is your reputation. And that's why it is so urgent to be focusing on your PR right now. You know, if you don't have a good reputation, your business is going to suffer. If you don't have that good profile, your business is going to suffer. And, you know, since PR is about your reputation, it's about listening to stakeholders, building those relationships, I would argue that you need to make an investment in your PR. And for those from back in the day, if the classic PR field case study is Jared Ratner, who described his products as crap. And within days, weeks, his multi-million-pound business had collapsed. He made an inadvertent he made a joke at an IOD it was a dinner, and then he went on Wogan the next night to try and justify himself, and it just was a complete mess. So again, reputation is everything, no matter what size your business actually is. So again, having worked in PR for very many years, there are 5 reasons why I have found that as to why people are failing in their PR approaches. And these reasons apply to small business owners, entrepreneurs, and large businesses alike. Now, I can assure you, large organizations don't have this sussed. But the advantage of being an entrepreneur or smaller business is that you can act really quickly to counter some of these failings. So the first reason is that business leaders and owners, they don't really understand benefits that PR done well can achieve. You know, as I've already covered, PR is not marketing or advertising. It is a very particular approach about reputation and relationships that done well can result in huge benefits for your business. And then a second reason is that organizations don't plan their PR. You've all heard the saying, to fail to plan is to plan to fail, and PR is no different. So if you come away with one thing today, it's that you need a PR plan. And again, that's something I'm more than happy to help with. And because there is no plan, everybody jumps to needing to write a press release, usually badly if you don't know how, but I've got a solution for that for you, or just go and do some social media. And it's quite a scattergun approach. And again, it starts to waste your time and effort and money, and then you get frustrated because nobody's engaging and the sales aren't going up. So again, plan. Even if it's a plan on a page, it doesn't have to be War and Peace. And Your PR also fails if you don't know who you're trying to talk to. So you could be wanting to speak to maybe an internal audience if you have staff, or it could be an external one. It could be your customers, it could be your trustees, your board, it could be an investor. So if you don't spend some time and effort on trying to just identify who you're trying to talk to, again, you're going to waste a whole lot of time, effort, and ultimately your money. And the final reason why PR fails and why you'll fail in your PR approach is that you don't know what it is that you want to say. And this is called your messaging. So your audience, that could be your customers, your staff, whoever you're trying to speak to, they start to get really confused on what you're trying to say. And your efforts just become more of that noise that we're bombarded with on a daily basis. And again, waste of time and effort if you can't get those nailed. We will get more positive in a minute. Again, any questions, note them down, drop them in the chat, and we'll go back to them at the end. But now I'm just going to take you through 3 things that will transform your business in relation to PR. So number 1 is about becoming known, how you'll tell your story and position your business. Number 2 is about building relationships, spending time identifying your audience and building trust. And number 3 is about having your customers hear more about you on TV and the radio, or reading about you in the media, not your rival. And that's all about building your credibility. And these 3 things combined will really help expand your reach, you increase that visibility and reputation, and ultimately will start to lead to bringing in more sales. So step 1 is about telling your story. Do your customers know who you are? How well known are you, and how well known is your business? So using PR will enable you to position your products and services, as the go-to, and by telling your story in your own terms, you'll become known. And it can be really daunting. I know that. I'm sitting here thinking, I don't really have a backstory, but everybody has a story to tell about why you started your business, why it's so important, who you're helping. So, take a moment just to think how you might start to tell your story, and take this formatted approach here. I am a PR expert, and I have developed a range of training opportunities, and I help business leaders and entrepreneurs so that they can have more confidence to build their profile. So start to frame your story using those 4 steps there, and it'll start to develop over time. You'll refine it. It won't stay the same forever, but it's a really good starting point. And again, once you have that framework, you can use that on your LinkedIn post. You can use that on your Instagram stories. When you go to a local networking event, you can use that when you're introducing yourself to somebody. And again, it's about having your elevator pitch written, practice saying it, and then you're just ready to go. And again, it is hard. I know that. I've done that, as well as coaching other CEOs and senior leaders. I've had to do it myself. It's about having to stand up in a room full of your peers, and talk to them. My knees were knocking, I have to say, underneath that podium. Use LinkedIn. It's a really easy starting point to build your network. Again, you don't have to worry about videos a lot. You can write some text and start to see that engagement. And again, Instagram also can play a role, but it's really understanding what's going to work for you and taking it from there. I've mentioned it before, but building relationships is really, really key. You need to know who your audience is and build trust and a relationship with them. Who needs your product or service? What do you want to do? Who do you want to do business with? Who do you want to influence? And this is my Where's Wally slide. And it's just to make the point that your audience is not the whole world. You need to know who your potential customers are, and then understand how to reach them. If you know the types of news outlets they follow, you can build relationships with those relevant journals and have a better chance of your content landing. If you know what kind of podcasts they listen to, what kind of magazines they read, you can start then really to decide where you're going to place your content. And step 3 is about building your credibility. Think about all those ways that you can share your expertise, because you're the expert in what it is you do, and how you then can start to prolong that conversation, how to raise your profile, how to build your credibility by consistently putting out your story and your messages about what it is that you do and the transformation that you can make to your clients. And again, it's really, really daunting. It takes a lot of confidence, but it's about taking that first step, and then another first step, and then another one. And then before you know it, you look back and you think, oh my goodness, I've done all these things. You might want to, speak at a conference. You might have to pitch to this, or you might be invited. Podcasts are brilliant. You might want to start one, or you might find some podcasts that you would like to go and speak on. And writing articles and blogs is another really straightforward way of writing some short form articles about your business, and then that's going to really appeal to your customer and getting those placed. So it could be through a third party, like I did this one for the Federation of Small Businesses, or it could be a blog on your website, or it could be your LinkedIn, or whatever it happens to be. But you think about your target audience, your ideal customer. What are they reading? What are they listening to? And focus on those. Then it takes away that overwhelm that you don't have to be doing absolutely everything. And the benefits of this transformation, I'm sure you're going to agree with these and can add to the list, but there's going to be that positive word of mouth. Like, you all know when you've had bad service, you tell lots of people, but again, you want that positive word of mouth. Customer loyalty, when they find your business and services credible, they're going to believe in it. They're going to be much more loyal to you going forward. Again, more sales. Think of all that credibility. Think about people finding you online and thinking, oh gosh, I must go and check that out. Competitive advantage is up there. If you've got staff, you want your good employee morale. Nobody wants to see negative stories about their business in the press, because that's going to impact on your staffing. You might be looking for finance. So again, by having that positive profile, you're going to maybe inspire some better investor confidence. And of course, your brand awareness is really important as well. So again, take a wee pause and reflect, what would be the benefits to you of becoming known, and building better relationships and building that better credibility. It's very individual to each person watching this recording or on this call right now. So focus it back in yourself. What would be the benefits? And then you can start to build out from there. I'm just going to take you through 3 areas that I find that businesses and organizations struggle with and miss out when it comes to doing their PR. So step number 1, or thing number 1, is you need a plan. You need to know who your audience is, and your profile needs to be better. It's maybe not what it could be at the minute. And bear in mind, everybody has a perception of you and what it is that you do. So it's about turning that around and getting what you want people to think about out there. So the majority of the hundreds of people I have spoken to about PR, I mean, they just simply don't know where to start. And that's absolutely okay. If you're not a PR expert, that's fine. I'm not an expert in life coaching, so I wouldn't know where to start with that. So you're the expert in your line of work, and you can't be expected to know everything. And I know as small businesses, small organizations, you do end up doing a lot of the stuff yourself. But that's where I come in, and that's why I am here to share my knowledge with you. But what I will say is that you need to start with your business plan and align your PR plan to that. It's got to be aligned to your business goals. And once you have that, your actions will start to flow. You need to, do some basic planning. You need to have, a scan of the external environment. You need to look at your internal environment. And again, identify what can be addressed by good communications. And again, it's something that I've done repeatedly and successfully over the years. Like when I worked for a political party here, I wrote and delivered a strategic communications plan that saw an increase in vote share, saw more MLAs being elected. And again, when I worked for a schools body, it was a brand new organization. So we had to take the profile from like literally nothing to 100% in the space of about 3 months, so that our stakeholders knew where we were. But we started with a plan and we built out from there. So it's step by step by step. And again, what happens if you don't plan and get yourself organized? Well, it's about, your PR efforts will fail. They'll not be focused. They'll not be prioritized in the way that they should be. And you'll miss opportunities. You'll waste that time, effort, and money. And, a scattergun approach might yield you some results, but imagine if it could be really strategic and land opportunities regularly. And just if I could bust a myth right now, it's that PR is free advertising. It's absolutely not. There's a cost to it, and that's your time and your effort. And that equates to money that you could have spent on getting some PR training, or bringing in somebody to do it for you and getting that help and advice that you need. And just remember that PR is about enhancing your reputation. So done badly, your reputation is going to be impacted. That leads me into the second thing that's missing, and that's knowing who you want to communicate with. And I've said it before, it is not the whole world. It is not the general public. And again, take this away from today, please. I hope you take lots of things away. But again, this is really important to note. Your audience is specific people who are interested in your product, service, or campaign, whatever it is that you want to communicate about. So you need to know who they are and how to reach them. So you need to spend a bit of time mapping out your audience and really prioritizing on focusing on who's really, really important. So you don't get sidetracked by sort of voices all around you who might start to suck up some of your time. You need to know as well how to reach them. And again, you've probably seen this before. This is a power influence matrix, and it's a really easy way to start to think about your audience. And I've used this really successfully over the years in terms of like sessions to map out stakeholders. So who do you need to manage closely? Who's just, you need to just keep a wee eye on in the corner, and once you start to do this, you can start to focus in on who's important. And again, depending on what stage you're at your business, your people will move about. Maybe you're not going for a funding bid at the minute, but in 6 months or a year, those people involved in that might move into a more prioritized quadrant. So again, it's about getting that deep dive and developing customer personas, getting a better understanding of who they are and what they do, and then focusing in on how you can engage with them. And again, if you don't identify your audience, you're going to waste time, effort, and money. And your competitors will be the ones that your customers and clients hear about because you've taken a scattergun approach and it's not really working, or maybe you're just not doing anything. And just think of all those missed opportunities. I mean, there's no point in running, a Facebook campaign if your audience is all on TikTok. But so if you haven't taken the time to understand where they get their news from, as it were, again, those opportunities are going to be missed. There's no point in firing out press releases to the newspapers if your customers listen to the radio or podcast instead. So lots of wee things to think about. But again, it's taking that step-by-step approach, starting with a plan and working through it, and then you'll be a whole lot more focused when it comes to doing your PR. Now, the third thing that business owners and leaders like yourself struggle with is how to build your profile to gain credibility in the area that you're working in. Now, of course, you have a profile, and it's back to what other people's perceptions are of you. So again, I would encourage you to spend some time asking yourself what you want to become known for. Have you got credibility and visibility? What do you want to become known for? And how do you then bring to life what it is that you're trying to say? And that's about sharing, an emotional connection with your audience, your storytelling. That's why I talk about chickens and ponies. And I did a post today on sustainable fashion on LinkedIn, because those are things that are really important to me. You can talk about PR as well. You can work those messages in. But again, it's just creating that profile that you want people to resonate with, so that they can start to know, like, and trust you. You want to evoke a response from somebody and make them go, wow, or yes, isn't this person or business absolutely brilliant? Yeah, and that's about developing your connection with the audience. So, I mean, some ideas to build your profile, and I am sure you can start making your own list. You might want to take a wee bit of a deep breath, because I know how daunting it can be. But, you might want to host an event or speak at an event. Entering awards is a really good way as well of raising your profile. You can pitch to speak at conferences. You can, this one at UU, I did an MBA there, so I went in and helped them then with some marketing work around that in terms of creating videos and content for them. So again, raising my profile in terms of what I wanted to do. You can use LinkedIn, other social channels, all sorts of opportunities. Just go networking. So many opportunities are there right now. So yeah, it's about having the confidence to make the call or send the pitch. And again, happy to help with that. But again, when you understand what it is that you're about, what are your values, why have you started your business, it gets a whole lot easier from then on in. And then if you don't have a profile, again, you're going to notice a theme right here. If you don't know how to tell your story, you're going to waste time, effort, and money. Think of the effort you would need to put into writing a press release, and, cost in terms of your time. And then it gets ignored because nobody knows who you are. You might have a really exciting to you but dull to everybody else report, and I have read plenty of them in my life. But if you can't bring that to life, and show how it relates to your customers, or how you make people care about it. If people don't care about it, nobody's going to read about it. And instead your competitors are out there doing their thing, and you're missing out. So a few things to help you be successful in your PR for your business right now. 3 things that are missing that you need to get in place are a plan, knowing who your audience is, and really starting to enhance your profile and taking that forward. So we pause right now, it just brings me onto this. And again, ask yourself, why do you want to raise your profile? Why should you be in the media or on a podcast or at a networking event? And it is a really great way of enhancing your profile and visibility and building your credibility because, a journalist won't take on a story unless it's newsworthy. They won't take it on unless it's, it's correct. It has to be real. And again, getting in the media is just an area that I am asked about a lot. So, reflect on yourself. Why would you like to be in the media? Maybe that's the wrong phrasing. Why should you be in the media? Why should you be raising your profile? And again, some of the stuff that I've heard in the past, it's about positioning, yourself and your organization as the expert. It's about sharing positive news. You've won that award, you've got an investment, you've created, a real change for some clients. Also, it's about responding to negative situations. You may or may not get caught up in something to do with that. And again, having a plan for that, having a PR approach is really important because it's about salvaging your reputation at that point. Obviously, brand awareness is really important, showing your customers, your audience what you're doing, and again, building that credibility, that know, like, and trust factor. And again, before we get into Q&A, just a few things. I am just on a mission to make PR easy for everyone. And I've delivered PR training just to hundreds of people, just like you, across the last number of years. And again, I've got free resources available on my website, as well as some QR codes later on here for you as well. But just in terms of PR, I mean, Richard Branson really summed it up here. A good PR story is definitely more effective than a front page ad because you're not paying for it at the end of the day. And, PR works. Richard Branson's done quite well for himself. So I have a few options for you to consider if you're wanting to, progress with using a PR approach. Getting in the media is just one of the easiest things that is just really hard to do, and that's particularly when it comes to writing press releases. And I have to say the press releases are the bane of my life. And I say that as a PR of 25 years, from working with, a range of businesses, large and small, and business owners, there's a real lack of understanding of what a press release is actually for. It's about news. Has to be about news, otherwise it's a blog post or a platform piece. But there is a knack to writing them, so that a journalist will open it, never mind read it, and then consider it to be a story. And if it's not newsworthy, they're not going to look at it. If you don't have the right headline, they're going to skim over it because there's 300 emails in their inbox on a daily basis that they need to get through. And it's about tackling and targeting the right journalists as well. If it's a business story, you need a business journalist. If it's an environmental story, you need an environmental journalist. Some are generalists, that's absolutely fine. But only by reading their work or listening to the radio or listening to their podcasts will you get to understand what they're interested in. And then you can start, again, to focus in on where you're going to have the biggest impact. And again, consequences if you don't do press releases well. If you send stuff out randomly, you might get lucky. It's all happened to us all. You think, well, that's not going to land. You get one piece of coverage. But overall, it's that waste of time, effort, and money. And if you don't do it well, your customers and clients will never hear about you because what you send out will get ignored by journalists and you're not getting in the visibility that you deserve. And then you start to get really, jaded about the whole thing. So this is a QR code to an instant access press release training course that would have you writing press releases within an hour. It's just a step-by-step approach of how to write one. It's in a series of short lessons, and it also has some templates to follow as well. And it's really practical. It does exactly what it says in tin. I'm not very good at coming up with all these convoluted titles for things. It's called How to Write a Press Release, and that's what you'll be able to do at the end of it. I know it works because I've had some absolutely brilliant feedback on it. This is one of my first customers for it, and she sent me a press release to write, or once she'd written it, and it was just absolutely fantastic. So she was able to get the coverage that she needed for her story. And again, I worked with this lady, Naomi, as well. And again, she sent me through what she'd written as a result of the course. You can do that as well, folks. Just send it over to me and I'll happily have a look at it. But she was able then to get the coverage that she needed. And I've seen her just go from strength to strength in terms of her PR. This is a biggie. And I hear this an awful lot. So many people have just a really negative framing when it comes to raising their profile. And I know it's hard. I know that. It's that, what if no one wants to read about me? What if I mess up? What if it all goes wrong? And, you get these little mind monkeys and you just get into this spiral. But what if it all goes well? What if your ideal client hears about you? And what if you can help just one person? And then you can help another person, and then you can help another person. So again, it's about taking that deep breath and that step forward. So I created this instant access training course. It's called Be Bold, Be Seen, 5 quick and actionable steps to raise your profile and showcase your brilliance. It's currently £9, bargain. Anyway, but it does what it says on the tin. In less than an hour, you'll have a plan to start to raise your visibility. It's about looking at how raising your profile and having a good reputation and increased visibility all linked together. It'll take you through overcoming, all the what ifs. It'll not go wrong, by the way, folks. PR, not ER. It will be fine. And it'll take you through 5 steps you need to take to raise your visibility, and it'll take you through 5 things you can do right now to be bold and be seen. And they're really actionable. They're really straightforward. And I promise you'll be absolutely fine and happy to help you through all that as well. And again, it's been really well received. I know people have started to use it. They started to raise their profile, and that just makes me really proud. I think that people are getting that confidence to take their profile forward and see the success and the impact that has then on their business. So I also have very, very limited one-to-one coaching options, like about 2 spaces available at the minute. So again, if you're interested in that, I'd invite you to book a call with me just to discuss further. And, we can look at things like how to create your own personal PR plan, identify what's not working and where to improve, raise your profile. It's like 2 one-hour sessions, because I just don't see the point in working for an hour with somebody and then that's it. It's about having a conversation, doing some work in the meantime, having me on standby to help, and then having like a further conversation just to keep building on that. And again, an opportunity to ask all the questions. So yeah, that's my hard sell over, folks. It's not very hard at all. I have worked with a lot of people through this one-to-one as well, which is brilliant. Happy to share testimonials on that, just to help you understand what might be involved and have that conversation. So I'm nearly at the end here. It's segueing us very nicely into our Q&A. So if you have any questions at this point, if you would like to drop them in the chat and I will answer them, I'll read them out and answer them for the recording. And then we can, when this is all done, then we can have a conversation afterwards once I've stopped the recording. So if you have a chat about anything I've talked about today, fine. If it's something completely different, also fine. Nothing is off limits. If you don't want to put it in the chat, you can send it privately to me as well, and that is also absolutely fine. So looking at the chat, I shall go through. Brilliant. So we have a life coach. We've got renewable NIs on board. That is brilliant. With a background in advertising, super. Your private GP and personal physician, super. Oh, a master coach of inner power. That sounds really interesting. Yeah, so PR strategies to get more media coverage for empowering women to reconnect with their inner strength and femininity. Yeah, I mean, it's really just about going through that step-by-step process that I've talked about today. It's about identifying what it is what's your business plan, how does PR align to that, what will good communications do for you, and taking it from there. So really just understanding who your target audience is and where to find them. Are they on Facebook? Are they listening to the news? What magazines are they reading? And just taking it step by step through that, and then creating the content that's going to resonate with them. Could be a blog, it could be a video, it could be something, but you're going to know that better than me in terms of what your audience needs as well, and just starting to focus in really specifically on where you're going to find them. So a question here, some key factors to look for when deciding which magazines, podcasts, or online platforms are worth targeting for media coverage in your niche. I would encourage everybody to start reading magazines and newspapers. Now, if you don't want to go out and buy them, the library has a really good app. So you can download all the magazines for free on that. So again, understand who's your target customer, who's your target audience, and start to create that persona about them. What are they reading? Are they reading Local Women magazine? Are they reading, the Daily Mail or Mail Online? And start just to map that out. And then you can start getting in depth for your niche. If you have a business, making dog accessories. This is the example that always comes to mind. Dog accessories. These are really popular at the minute. You want to be targeting dogs today. You want to be targeting a podcast all about for pet lovers, for dog owners. And you're going to have a sense in your mind of who those dog owners are. They're probably, maybe age, 28 to 40. They may or may not have children. The dog is the family. So again, you're going to start to get into the detail of what they read and what they listen to, and then start to focus on those kind of niches. But read the magazines, and once you start to do that, you can identify the journalists, and then you can go out and find where they are and start to pitch to them directly. Determine which media outlets are most likely to feature stories or interviews that cover themes of confidence, empowerment, and women's personal growth. Again, a lot of women's magazines out there, so you can start to read them. I'm trying to think of something. Good Housekeeping, Prima magazine, it could be a local magazine, in your particular area, because I'm not sure where you're based. But again, go and have a read of them, understand what types of content they write about, and then shape your pitches around that. They might want, 10 ways you can boost your confidence in the run up to Christmas, as an example. So you could offer to write that kind of content for them as well. Did that answer the question on targeting types of magazines and podcasts? Or is there any further questions on that? A thumbs up. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Other questions that I get in? I mean, what I find, so I've had a few apologies for this call today, and from some of the feedback I've had from that, it's really just a lot of people just, I don't know how to raise I don't want to raise my profile. I don't know what it is that I'm going to talk about. But I guarantee if we sat down for 10 minutes and just had a conversation, so much stuff will be coming out. I'd be like, that would make a good feature. That would make a good blog post. That would make a really great press release, because you've done something really brilliant for your target audience, for your customers and clients. So it is hard to do it on your own. So maybe you have some colleagues in a WhatsApp group. Gotta love a WhatsApp group. So maybe you could be bouncing ideas off them as well. If you went and asked somebody that you work with, or somebody in your sphere, what am I good at? They will start to tell you what you're good at, and then you can start to take your visibility piece around that as well. The other question I get asked an awful lot is, where do you find journalists when it comes to doing this? And again, like I already said, you need to start reading their content and getting their details off that. You can find a lot online. Twitter is very good for journalists. Hashtag journal request is used a lot. There are Facebook groups available where journalists do look for content within. You can do paid for opportunities as well. There's a company called PR for the People. I've never used it now, so this isn't an endorsement, but they do, for like £10 a month, they will send you a range of journalist requests. Again, it's not going to be very tailored to you, but it might be a good starting point in that. A lot of journalists on LinkedIn. Again, so looking at them that way as well. But their contact details are generally really widely available once you know who you want to contact. And again, I would encourage you to approach them directly, and just don't blanket spam people, because stuff will just never land. So any more for this, and then I'll stop the recording, and then I'm just more than happy to stay on and answer any questions if you want to come on screen and to turn your cameras on.